Okay, so Quiva, we were talking about the charge, and again, that's the resistance to fight. Is if you think about it at a physical level, think about tension in your lower back. If somebody's got a strain in their lower back and it's really tight and uncomfortable, that's a high charge. There's your muscles are really tightening up there. So that's a high charge. Is if your lower abdominals are weak, that's a high charge too, because of the weakness in them. Not because they're so tight, but because they're so weak. You want to even that out so that there is no bracing in the body, is that you've got tone. So emotional is the same. Is you can feel an emotion, but how much you're fighting with that emotion is the charge within it. So when you begin to recognize the charge in it, you look, I'm fighting in this. Is what if I just put the fight down and just let myself feel it? I'm not saying it's always easy, but even just recognizing that my struggle in this is causing me more stress sometimes than just allow myself to feel it. And that if I let myself feel it, I'm only doing one thing. I'm just letting myself feel what I feel. I'm not fighting with it all the time. And then there's the range of how much we fight. So yes, Quiva, it's exactly the same at an emotional level as it is a mental level or a physical level, but equally a mental level too. And I'll use this as an example at a mental level. I'm going to talk about denial. Does everybody know what I'm talking about? Some of you might have said no. Okay, you know what I'm talking about. Denial. Don't know what you're talking about. Okay, so what do I mean like this at a mental level? Is sometimes it's difficult to be honest with ourselves about what we're thinking, because what we're thinking can be difficult to take the intensity of it. It can hurt, or it can be very strong and intense. So it's easier to deny it than to let ourselves be honest with what we're thinking. Does everybody get that? Okay. So denial is a form of protecting ourselves, and it can be part of the struggle. So we use denial as a way of fighting ourselves. So the more you deny, the greater the charge is, if that makes sense. So when you're denying something really strongly, is that's telling you the charge that's in it, if that makes sense. Just as an example at a mental level, where if we put the denier down and we said, rather than focusing on what I'm denying, is really what am I truly thinking here? Is it allows us to begin to recognize what our thoughts are, rather than make the effort into denying our thoughts, if that makes sense. Now, the true purpose of denial is can be lost. Just while we're talking about this, excuse me, denial sometimes can be seen as something that's very negative and corrosive, and it's suppressive and restricts us. But the real power of denial, when we're using it in its most powerful way, is I was talking about this about the second chakra there on one of the videos, is when you stay grounded and you come into the seat of your power. So you're grounded in yourself, and something comes along that you find challenging that might unground you. The real power of your denial is you just deny it. You refuse to react to that situation. And what you're doing is you're using the power of denial to deny the reaction, or to deny the being thrown off center. And that's the real power of your denial, is you deny something. You refuse to be moved by something that you don't want to be moved by. Does that make sense? So you're using your denial to hold yourself consciously in your ground, and I deny that. I refuse to react. I will respond. Now that's the power of denial,